Hello everybody, Manithral here, and welcome to the weekly update video for OSRS. Now this week we have Pole 80 and the shooting star changes. So there's going to be some news here that might be a little unpleasant for some, but some good. But Wednesday, September 20th at 12:30 BST, they temporarily blocked mining shooting stars as they investigate an issue with them not depleting as intended. They are very sorry for this inconvenience, but this is temporarily hotfixed, so there is more stuff coming to it. Shooting stars have been re-enabled and should no longer deplete faster than players with other players around. Roughly, the star depletes as if two level 99 players are mining it, and a tier 9 star will take roughly up to 90 minutes to deplete all the way to 0 before the star depletes. That has been hotfixed. And the Leviathan orb attacks were not visible until halfway to the player. So this affected the animations or the number of bosses, which have been hotfixed. And a Pole 80 change was missing from the news post, and this has been corrected. The following text has been added to the news post as it launched with this week's update. You can no longer jump the agility shortcuts in the Revenant Cave if you are frozen or bound. You will be able to resume jumping within 3 ticks of the bind's end. So the bind has to end, 3 ticks later, then you are able to resume. So, Pole 80 Wilderness Boss Layers. So players are now unable to teleport out of the Wilderness Boss Caves for 3 ticks after they enter. The delay can be avoided if you have completed the Wilderness Hard Diary. The 1 tick animation delay for everyone entering the dungeon has now been removed. Wilderness Hard Diary unlocks. A teleport delay in the Revenant Caves will no longer apply to you, and the teleport delay in the Wilderness Boss Caves will no longer apply to you as well. So the Revenant and the Wilderness Boss Caves. The Wilderness Medium Diary, you now need to have completed the Medium Wilderness Achievement Diary to access Spindle, Archeo, and Calvarian. Callisto changes. Callisto and Archeo should now both be able to take damage from magic attacks from any source. Additionally, if they're not already frozen, if the attacking player has equipment with a total magic accuracy of greater than 0, the first attack that would freeze a boss is guaranteed to hit. Future hits while the boss is frozen are not guaranteed to hit. They augmented their magic defense to compensate for this change. Callisto's base magic level has been raised, visible in the far left tab of the monster examined. So, Callisto's chip damage has also been removed, and Callisto's range attack will no longer deal damage through the relevant protection prayer. Blighted Magic Sacks. You can now cast all your favorite spells from just 1 item. So the Bind/Snare Sacks have been converted into Entangle Sacks. Entangle Sacks can now be cast as Bind Snare if a player has the required magic level. The conversion rate is 1 Entangle for 13 binds, and 1 Entangle for 3 snares, rounded down. So Wave Sacks have been converted into Surge Sacks. Surge Sacks can also cast wave spells if the player has the required magic level. Existing sacks will be converted upon login for all players. Non-UMI or UIMs will have the sacks be sent to the bank, and UIMs will have them arrive into their inventory if they have any to convert. In other blighted news, blighted food can now be used anywhere in the PvP worlds. Non-PvP worlds are unaffected by this change. The repair cost changes to make PvP King's victory even sweeter. They're bumping up the repair cost for certain PvP items. So, as everybody's aware, the repair cost will drop to the PK or below level 20 wilderness. So the sweet deal is how it works. The Dragon Defender repair cost has been increased from 80k to 240k. Abernic Defender increased from 300k to 600k. Avis Assembler went from 75k to 240k. Full Void Reaper went from 300k to 640k. Any helmet is 160k. Void body is 180k. Bottom 180k, and the gloves is 120k. The Elite Void repair cost has been increased to 400k to 780k. The body itself is 250k, and the bottom itself is 250k. During the initial playtest, they've also decided to add the following additional changes. The Infernal repair cost is increased from 75k to 225k. Fire Cape and Fighter Torso repair costs have been increased from 50k to 150k. So that is quite the increases. And the Avernic and Elidna's ward values. So the Trover versions of the Avernic Defenders will not only protect the value of the Trover Parchment and 500k GP fee, meaning that it won't rank higher than other items such as Berserker Ring, for example. So conversely, they made a change so that the Fortified Elidna Sword will now protect to combined values as of the Elidna Sword and the Arcane Sigil, meaning it will rank highly over other items on death. For now, they've adjusted the value of these two items, so we are supposed to let them know if this could be applied to more things. Revenant Cave changes, we discussed this. There's that 3-second delay with the resuming of the jumping. And splash weapons are back, so certain holiday items now have a 100 combat bonuses, allowing them to have a splash weaponry. They are in fact unable to deal any damage whatsoever, and here they are. The Cursed Goblin Hammer, the Easter 2020 Carrot Sword, the Halloween 2016 Hunting Knife, and the Christmas 2022 Nutcracker Staff. Other changes: emptying sacks, pouches, boxes, and bags of death, well, bags on death. So back in the summer, they updated the rune pouch so that upon a PVM death, the runes would stay inside it, rather than mysteriously be shaken out all over the grove. So, say it seems like we really enjoyed to not have to manually put all your bits and bobs back into the pouch. So they've asked, and we've said about how we wanted similar things. So here is what is happening. The bolt pouch, seed box, tackle box, essence pouches, and herb sack are all going to be working the same way, assuming you check that off. And the shooting star buffs, as mentioned, this is going back to us. It was going to, be stated that the shooting stars no longer deplete faster. In addition, characters will no longer occasionally render behind the shooting star you are mining. There has been a little bit of issues with the shooting stars, but from the way this news post is reading, they are all back to normal. Then we go into some bug fixes. The Warp Scepter's projectile height has been adjusted to match the scepter. Duke Succulus's 5-minute inactivity timer now restarts if you click the salt again. Implemented a login check to ensure that sigils and other unwanted items do not appear on World 45. The Path of Gloffrey has had a little bit of a change here, but also the Warp Scepter has received glowing feedback from the community, and there is a small gap to fill with the Iron Man grind. In accordance with the tradition, they can now confirm the drop rate for the Warp Scepter is 1 in 320. The slight change in line with the feedback, though, is the Poison Waste Spirit Tree has been moved to the end of the list. An upcoming poll, September 25th, and this is going to be about the Hunting Guild poll starting on the 25th. And it says, should that we change the Dragonfire Shield Fiery attack to reward only defense experience in both PVM and PvP? Should we add an additional Slayer Task block slot, unlock that 300 quest points? And should we once again reward the first player to discover the shooting star? This would double the amount of stardust you mine until you have 300 extra stardust. This bonus would not expire and can be used on any star you come across. Should you be the first to find another star, any remaining bonus will recharge back to the 300. And then there is a mobile TLI beta, so if you want to take part in the beta, please take note that they pushed the update that many players will get automatically. But please check your app store to make sure you have the latest version and install any update that is available to ensure you're all set to continue your adventures. So you basically have to opt in it. But those who are in the beta, you'll have access to the following worlds: 585 AUS, 586 GER, 587 UK, 588 US West, 589 US East. So just check out those worlds, and if you have them, you indeed are in the beta, just in case you are unaware. And last chance to snag the plushies that came out not that long ago, really. But don't forget to pick up your gnome child if you really want to have one of those hanging around your house, or maybe you want a wise old man. Otherwise, we have PvP Rotomove in the Period B 560 UK PvP, 319 US Bounty Hunter World, 579 US High Risk PvP, 561 UK Free to Play PvP, 580 US LMS Competitive, and Worlds 390 for a LMS Competitive and 569 AUS for Bounty Hunter have been deactivated with this rota, and PvP Arena is going to the max/med loadout for the ranked duels and tournaments this week. So that is everything for this week, guys. The only thing is there is still some issues potentially going on with the shooting stars, so do keep that in mind. But that is it for this week, so thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later, guys.